But oh yeah, I did. Cool. Cool. Taking a nap over there. Cute. Good little boy. Taking his little nap. Ugh. Tastes like piss. Fucking hell. Actually, I feel like piss probably tastes better than that. Jesus. Thanks, roommate. Do this quick. There we go. That looks a little better. Less foggy. A little less fog. There we go. Cool. Ugh. Okay. A few Nick Pops there. Ooh. Oh, that felt better. Alright, let's see. Boom, boom. Put that right there. Some tunes for the background. Where are they? Where'd they go? There they are. There we go. Sweet. Ugh. Man, I'm definitely like a little zoned out today. My brain's just all been like, zoned right the fuck out. And get called in for later in the evening for a couple hours to help out. Which I guess is just overtime, you know, for me, so whatever. And basically, I had a weird green light from the actual, like, store boss where it's like, hey, as long as you're not, like, visibly, like, intoxicated or drunk, you can drink on the job. And it's like, I don't think out of anyone who should, like, probably enforce that, it's that dude. And he's like, yeah, he could come in as long as he's not, like, you know, visibly. Which, for me, is very easy to do. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be, yeah, like, if I am, then, I mean, at least when it comes to being intoxicated, it's not really that hard to kind of feign it in. Especially if you don't drink too much. Like, going, like, full on liquor mode or something, that's different, but having, like, you know, a couple burrs or some shit, like, motherfucker. Would they even, like, pack this that heavy? Yeah, it's just a small hole. It needs to be cleaned out. Sweet, goofy, sleepy boy. I'm sure I didn't even see this. Oh, sweet. Filter payment wage increases by the time required. Blah, 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 blah. Yay! They're actually being informative with us. Yay! Like our union's actually been giving me messages and shit. Keep me updated at least with a lot of this wage bullshit. Especially considering that Amazon and Safeway have basically failed to do anything, you know, outside of just raking more fucking profits. So, yay! At least, you know, we got a little something out of it. Filed a class action agreement demanding they put the wage increases in place immediately and pay you interest on the money they owe you. We will keep you updated as more information comes available. Sweet. I like knowing that some information like that, you know, is becoming a little bit more available. Ugh. That does not get better in taste. Ugh. It's like, why couldn't he at least grab something a little bit better? Like, honestly, Rainiers or Rolling Rocks, actually. Like, Rolling Rocks are honestly tolerable. I mean, these are just like, I just, like, feel outright like a goddamn hillbilly drinking that goddamn thing. Ugh. It's not even really that good, either. It's just, ugh. How do people drink things like that? There's quality, and then there's just, like, not even, like, I mean, there could be poor quality, and then there's just not even, like, paying attention to it. We're just like, quality? What's that? And this is one of those drinks where they definitely did not pay attention to anything remotely close to quality. Because this is just fucking gross. God, that thing tastes horrible. I'm pretty much just gonna bitch about that every single time I am just like gonna be drinking that thing, because oh my god. I'm also wondering how my fucking roommate was able to go like 5 deep on these fucking things. Now I'm sitting here just like barely able to fucking like sip on one. Because straight up, I just, ugh. Fucking hell. But, yeah. Let's get my mind away from it. See what other and shit. Let's go for 2. Dan Crenshaw shows his ass in gun control debate. As he probably always has and will. So many of these fucking dumb fuck Republicans are always just going to be hyper fixated on, oh, well, it's mental health and other stuff, and are we actually going to do anything to maybe, hopefully address these type of shit that's going on? Nah. We're just going to talk about it, but not actually do anything to help alleviate the problems. It's like, I mean, where Democrats pretty much, like, will say a bunch of shit but never do anything on most issues. This is, like, the one issue where Republicans will say a bunch of shit but just never do a fucking thing about. Like, this is the Republicans, like, pander and virtue signal about it all goddamn day, but literally do nothing about it. It's the one thing they do that for, while Democrats will do that for, like, all sorts of other social issues. I mean, on top of the whole, like, gun regulation thing, too, I mean, Dems also do that, because they never provide any viable regulation on this type of shit. And if they do, it doesn't go far enough. Well, there's enough loopholes in it to make it look like goddamn Swiss cheese, and doesn't really actually address the issue in the first place, so. But again, not surprised Dan Crenshaw's out there showing his ass cheeks, being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to address things like mental health and, like, you know, other stuff, and, like, there's, you know, just good propaganders like me, kind of, that you just are just totally fine with them and stuff. And it's like, just, I hate that argument, too, where you get, like, so many Republicans who are like, what about the gun enthusiasts or just the hobbyists? And it's like, I'm that, and frankly, shut the fuck up, you don't speak for me. Like, I hate it when people do that. When conservatives are all about that shit, it's like, if that was the case, then you should have no fucking issue with these regulations. Like, seriously. It's just like, hey, you know, if you're, like, understanding that, yeah, there are absolutely, honestly, the majority of people that do own firearms who are just average, like, gun enthusiasts type of people or whatever the fuck, they shouldn't have any problems with having some basic regulations to make sure that their rights are still protected, while making sure people's lives are still safe at fucking places like schools or grocery stores, you know, to at least minimize and, you know, decrease the risk as much as possible for someone doing a mass shooting. It's like you can have both. Because, you know, frankly, most gun enthusiasts don't put the, you know, fucking value of their gun over, you know, fucking life. I sure shit don't. Like, if I was in a country or in a society where they never had guns in the first place, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd probably still be an enthusiast and wish I had one, but I'd be like, whatever. I'm in a country that don't got it then. Why just move? People throw that at me. It's like, oh, you want one so much, just move somewhere where they have them. But either way, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just an interest, you know, but, you know, like, that's the thing. Like, most gun enthusiasts generally know that and understand that and are okay with having, you know, regulations and training and things like this in place and licensing and shit like that. Oh my god, that tastes so fucking bad. After all, Reagan did gun reform, saw Black Panthers from Mari. Going after his old raggedy butt. Yeah. Honestly. Just wait until the government's just coming. I mean, it has before, though. Like, there was a Congress, like, baseball game or some shit where, like, a bunch of Congress dudes were, like, playing baseball and, like, some guy shot it up. And a few people, like, I don't think anyone got killed, but I think, you know, there was at least a few people who were injured. And it's just like, I mean, it happened before, and even then, those same people, a lot of them were Republicans too, who are just like, oh, well, because this happened to me, I'm still fine with guns, it's okay. It's just like, wait, what? You literally are a victim of gun violence, and you're still like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, what? That breaks the brain. It's like, you're literally a victim of it from somebody who had way too much of an easy access to these damn things, and you're just like, yeah, it's okay. Keep the things as they are with that. Let's count the amount of times I've been told to move by people here at Bama. My reply is simply, give me money to move, I'll gladly move. I mean, seriously. It's like, are you gonna give me some money? It's like, pay me $50 and I'll shut up. At the very least. Give me enough and I'll eventually move. There you go. You're in positive manager? Nah. Just trying to call me in today. I'm just like, been drinking today. And then the store manager's like, as long as you're not visibly intoxicated, it's fine. And it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, are you actually kidding me? Goddamn, like the shit you can really get away with over there. My fucking god. I mean, I suppose I don't care if, you know, people are, but, like, I mean, you know, as long as they're doing their job, but, should the store manager be the one who's discouraging that? We should have said 2/5 of vodka and can barely function Lamau. And yet I could send a text pretty clearly to him. Yeah, that'd work. I just said that, yeah, like, you know, I'm pretty buzzed right now. Don't know if it'd be a good idea. And it's like, as long as they're not visibly. And I'm like, well, I'm not, like, outright drunk and shit. I'm not drinking, like, hardcore drinks or anything. So, I mean, okay. I mean, I get, you know what, fine. You know, it's 6:30-ish or something like that. How about that? She's like, fine, that's okay. And it's like, alright, well, hey, I get some overtime, honestly. And it goes into the fucking new wages, too. So it's going to be a little extra on top of that, so. I mean, honestly, all in all, I'm not really against it. What, like 3 fucking hours, if that. And most of it, I'm just going to be in the back. Like, I'm not even going to get in my work shirt. I'm just going to go up there the way I look. Which is really just wearing this t-shirt. It's just like this furry tiger dude with a bow. So, I mean, oh no. So bad. I've seen people wear worse, you know, who are also on the clock, you know, doing shit. So, frankly, like, you know, I don't give a fuck. I just want it for, like, an extra, what, like, maybe 50-something bucks. Maybe a little more. So. What the fuck? Is this an actual tweet? It's a thumbnail to a video, but this is a tweet. Sex with a minor, not a minor, minor, is against the law. Damn, dude. Damn. Minors out there all over America. It's illegal to fuck them. Damn. Rip all the minors have to go, you know, toiling in the shafts, man. It's illegal to have sex with them. Damn. What an insane precedent. What's our country gone down? I could tell it's at Matt Gaetz, so I can tell this is like, you know, something fucking on. Homophone. I gotta watch this. What is this? Each of 2 or more words have the same pronunciation, but different meanings, origins, or spelling. Damn, I guess I can't bang that hot mining girl I just met. I know, right? Damn, that girl I just met the other day, she was working in the mines, and damn, seeing her work out, you know, she, you know, seeing her work off in the mines, I don't know, that does something for me.
As having the same pronunciation, but different meanings, origins, or spellings. On occasion, homophones can be used accidentally. For example, well, cue Twitter. I wonder what those 40 days were like for Jesus in the desert.
So not a desert, a dessert. That's not even a homophone, though. That's just straight up like, I mean, what, you add one extra letter? I love my woman like I love my coal. Dirty and bad for me. Damn.
Even though I'm a bad boy.
Wait, what? Okay, so there's that one.
Jesus in the desert.
Stand by, girl, even though I'm a bad boy. So you're not doing what a proper buoy should be doing, like, you know, waving in the tides and staying up and all that. You're just like faulty, so you're like kind of half sunk in the water and you're like upside down and like you got like a nest of seagulls perched on you.
Even though I'm a bad boy. Chorizo, salmon, and pea risotto.
That's a bad typo. That's a bad typo. Oh, there.
Is against the law. Zane's behaviour makes me feel like my life has been thrown into a rubbish bin.
A rubbish bin? A rubbish bin? Did he meant like rubbish bin, like a garbage can or a garbage bin? I actually need to like look at this. Zane's behavior makes me feel like my life's been thrown into a rubbish bin. What? 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 What?
This continues. At first it was my nose pierced, now I've died.
Damn. Rest in peace, Gemma Duffy. Got your nose pierced, and now you died.
To the audience.
Oh, dyed my hair. Well, damn, that hair dyed hard.
Tick.
Now bald.
Tick. Both lawns moan. Tick. You still unlock.
I want to know what your lawn's made out of.
Your phone emoji using a pattern flushed face emoji. It is 2019, dummy. We are now using fingerprints.
A fingerprints? Oh my god, these are so bad. Me using the fire hose. Damn. Man, look at me using these fire hose, man. I got some fire ass hose right here, baby. Some of these are actually pretty funny out of context. Even in context a little bit. Getting splashed out by all those fire hoses, bro. Look at that. Look at all them fire hoses getting splashed out.
A hose? Have downed bottle of wine. Feeling bolder now? Are people
bolder? So you're feeling like a rock? Or are you just sat in... Well, you know what? Wine could probably make you do that. I have a irrational fear of giant needles. So not needles, just giant needles. The thing is, though, a piercing isn't really like a giant needle. It's like a spike. Yeah, like a sand tattoo gun, Lamau. Yeah, like that seems like that really is not a rational fear at all. Like it's not absolute by any means. I think you have a fear of impalement.
Text useless quote. Couldn't answer swine when it's really impotent. I can't believe I stayed in a hostel in New Orleans. Best bidet presents ever. Early bidet presents. Hajime.
Early bidet? It's like, hey, you got this nice... Hey, before you get your bidet, here's a few presents to go along with your new bidet. Some bugs.
Let us know that after a long day, I always enjoy a nice glass of white wine. Drops my...
Enjoy a glass of some white boy just whining. Like, damn, bro.
Weed on myself. Did you know that Salman Khan himself was an athlete much before he became an actor? And
Salman Khan? Wait, hold on. Oh, weightlifter. Oh, there it is. Not. Oh, you know what? I can make an exception for this guy because I'm assuming that is a second language. So, I mean, just judging by the thing, with like the weird text, that looks That looks like Hellenic, I think, or something, like Greek or some shit. I literally don't know. I can excuse this one.
Cyclist, weightlifter, unfriending people, cars! I don't like them. My wish is to have Justin Drew Bieber walk down the I Will with me. I was raised...
The I Will. You don't need to... Okay, this one just feels like you were just dumb, because, like... Or your autocorrect was on. Because, why is... Oh my god, people. This make me realize that education has failed strongly. I was raised Catholic, served as an altar boy for over 7 years. Oof, 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 oof.
For over 7 years, snuggling with my little pumpkin and watching Monsters, Inc. Don't try and flee the scene. Was going to relax today and catch up on sleep, but I mustered up the strength to get up. Can't believe this shit. Buddy over got earwax on my headphones on a beach during a meteor shower. Seen the light, hashtag...
Oh, a meteor. Ooh. Yeah, it's always good to have a shower, but you just gotta have it more meteor. Because of all the slang and weird things we do in our language compared to others. Yeah, that makes sense.
Why did we just tweet the same thing at the same time? Wow, we are so in sync. I know everyone thinks I'm like a serial flirt, or I've made so many cups of teas today, it's unreal. Sachet away, hashtag RuPaul. I can't wait for the weekend to begin. Time for a bite of supper. Going to use my new deep fat fryer.
A fryer? Oh my god, so it's not just like, yeah, so it's just like a nice big old fryer. It's just like, oh yes, deep fat. I know, dude, but it's a fryer.
Time for a bite of supper. Going to use my new deep fat fryer.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fryers. Olivo stadiumonos. Deep fat fryers. This is like, I'm gonna get some supper, and I'm gonna take my new deep fat fryer with me. Yes. He's my new friend I met at church.
Try to get our cat Spade, she goes into heat. OMG. That was a fun morning. Haven't laughed that hard in a while, hashtag family. I think this next one sums up Twitter pretty perfectly. What's your dream job? Maybe an author, because I'm good at writing.
My god. Okay, oh my god, we gotta absorb that.
What's your dream job? Maybe an author?
Okay, so far so good, because I'm good at, so far so good, writing. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Faith in humanity just died just that much more, just there.
Writing. If I had the opportunity to listen to any living organism on the planet, I'd love to hear a sperm whale.
Oh my god! Okay, out of context, that sounds disturbing. I love to just go be the size, you know, from a microscope and then just audibly hear a single sperm wail off in pain. Oh my god, this one just sounds just like, out of context, it sounds disturbing. It's like, I want to hear all the sound of all the sperms wail and cry in agony. Roast 100 play screenplay for a movie as a part of a writing class to college. Nice. That sounds pretty dope. Best B-Day presents ever, she said, observing the entity that had appeared before her. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Need some memes. Yeah, actually, speaking of memes, I found like this dude who does like some YouTube shorts that low-key, though, are actually pretty fucking good. Here. I don't know if you've seen them, but I've found these and I've just been kind of getting into them really quickly.
These papers been catching W's. Yeah, they're wrong. I don't even need a substitute. I'm here till dawn. Don't even try missing my class. You're 1 minute late, you won't pass. I don't even care if I teach fast. You're just mad that your note take is too trash. Rule number 1. I don't dismiss by the bell. Rule number 2. Raise your hand, don't yell. Rule number 3, you chew gum, you will get expelled. I don't like to teach, I want you to hate me. That's my job. Can't you tell?
It's like, damn, dude. It's a little short. I think there's a full video of it. Isn't there? Yeah, there. Yeah, here it is. Let's see.
So
Get past this part.
F.
I want to see the full version of this. This beat slaps. Dude, this shit fucking slaps, bro.
Yeah, they're wrong. I don't even need a substitute. I'm here till dawn. Don't even try missing my class. You're 1 minute late, you won't pass. I don't even care if I teach fast. You're just mad that your note take is too trash. Rule number 1, I don't dismiss by the bell. Rule number 2, raise your hand, don't yell. Rule number 3, you chew gum, you will get expelled. I don't like to teach, I want you to hate me. That's my job. Can't you tell? Papers I grade and collect. A science teacher can't sit with your best. I don't give out easy tests. I want you to struggle. There's no easy breath. Just lounge every week. I'm in the VIP, it's the street. You don't even know what be going on. They be my slime, so I cannot speak. You want me to pass you, I want you to beg. You won't find the answer, so don't look on chat. I grade with my pens, but I still hold the lead. You can't use the bathroom, so pee on your leg. You cheat with your homie, y'all won't get ahead. I cannot bear with you, my name is not Ted. Your essay is just like a text message. I just left on red. These papers been catching W's. Yeah, they're wrong. I don't even need a substitute. I'm here till dawn. Don't even try missing my class.
They got no right to slap, bro. What the fuck?
You're just mad that your note take is too trash. Rule number 1, I don't dismiss by the bell. Rule number 2, raise your hand, don't yell. Rule number 3, you chew gum, you will get expelled. I don't like to teach, I want you to hate me. That's my job. Can't you tell? Finals coming up, and you know what time I'm finna be on. I'm failing everybody. I don't care. Y'all know I'm miserable, so y'all gonna be miserable with me. Don't forget to study.
Don't forget to study. Some of the teachers here are in the game to actually teach, but most of them just want to pay a check. Reform Southern education. Just reform education. But yeah, luckily out here, there's also a lot of teachers that are actually in the game to teach as well. Here, let me find another one that's pretty good. Man, I literally like will skim through them and I'll do this. Are we serious? Here, I'll just do this and then go for the short. Yeah, I'll just have to do this. Find another one. Because I know there was a few other... Because it looks like he just started doing these specific type of ones. This is another pretty good one. But here, let me pause that. I can't... Okay, it doesn't want to. Here, we'll do that.
Go to the party with ISO if you don't join.
Okay, yes. His intro is like too long.
Man, y'all better not forget we started this. Man, I can't even hear the beat. Where my glasses at? Hold up. Okay, that's much better. Well, listen up. Nowadays, youngins rap out shooting, drilling, using sticks. Back in my day, we had no guns. Boy, we used our fists. Nowadays, youngins post on Instagram showing off they flicks. I was standing outside my crush's house for the see this fit.
For the see this fit?
I didn't keep me a strap. Disrespect equals a punch. But talking out equals a slap. No need to cut me some slack. I've been rocking stacks, I invented the swag. Facts, you can't be calling out cap. I've been rocking caps, I'm living a proof. Facts, I'm a true OG. Yeah, I bet your grandma know me. I was that player from the Himalayas, and I got a lot of ops that owe me. They don't want no smoke. That's how youngins say it, right? Man, I need a diet coke, cause I might die if I take a Sprite. I go to sleep 9 at night, but I might keep this 9 at night. Even though I lost some.
I like these extended versions because the extra bars on it actually are legit really good. This dude actually fucking slaps. That's why I honestly do like rap in a lot of ways. It's mostly because of like indie artists like this dude.
Keep me a game when I drive in the highway, I stay in my lane. Under the limit, above is insane. If I tip you a penny, don't be acting strange. Back in my day, oh penny got shit, everything. Now I'm playing. Nowadays, youngins rap out shooting, drilling, using snakes. Back in my day, we had no guns. Boy, we used our fists. Nowadays, youngins post on Instagram showing off they flicks. I was standing outside my crush's house for the see this fit. I wasn't upping no pole. I didn't keep me a strap. Disrespect equals a punch. But talking out equals a slap. No need to come.
I went to Waffle House today, saw someone who looked remarkable with like 2010 TJ. I'm not even kidding, like not even a week ago, there was somebody who looked almost identical to fucking Vosh. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, let's get that out of there. But you know, that dude does a bunch of them. But yeah, there was like a dude who was like browsing some of our salads, and I was helping some lady, and I looked up, and I just, just kind of looked at him real quick, and he was like, And he just kind of nodded at me and just kind of walked off, checking some other stuff out. And when I turned around, weighing some shit out for the late house, I literally went out loud, to myself, like, was that Fosh? Because the dude dead ass looked like him, like straight up fucking identically, like glasses, beard, hair, and all. It was straight up and almost like what, like a doppelganger. Here, let's see what other little phone things be on too well. Okay, I might not like fashion security, but I share a joint, have a beer of them. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I'd say the same for most people. Or at least, honestly, on a general level, I'd pretty much have a beer for anybody. Or a joint with anybody. It's obviously, if they'd be, into it, so. Is it really, So do you have a beer with Ted Cruz? I'd make sure it's a glass bottle. Because once I'm done with it, I'm going to smash it over the fucker's head. Yeah. No one said it had to be cordial. No one said I had to actually, have a conversation. I mean, it's like, yeah, we would. But no one said anything about being polite or cordial. So. Yeah, I definitely would, not make that an exactly cordial event there. Rhode Island to legalize weed with worker-owned co-ops. Dude, Rhode Island, why is like all these other states legalizing weed more based than like the states that did before them? Man, fuck this shit. Where's our worker-owned co-op weed farms? They probably exist. I'm being a goof. I'd pretend to be a fan of him and smack upside the head of the beer ball. I wear his sole charge of Brian Lamau. I mean, frankly, unless you're in, like, the deep heart of his, like, loyal district or some shit, if that is even really truly a thing. I mean, which is why he has security detail, but it's like, frankly, who's gonna give a fuck? Like, honestly, it's Ted Cruz. I also have a security detail, but they get paid to protect him, so they have at least some incentive. I'd brag about it. I'd make sure I had a GoPro on me, just so there was video proof forever. Like, honestly, like, yeah, I would make sure, like, that was a title of honor. It's like, you hit Ted Cruz over the head with a bottle? It's like, yeah. And it smashed, too? Yeah. Based. I mean, frankly, though, he's like, why are we only saying Ted Cruz? Like, I mean, there's a lot of politicians that, frankly, deserve that shit. Like, I mean, well, really, that's the least of their fucking concerns, but considering, like, how pissed American people are at, just the general state of affairs, I mean, honestly, at minimal, they all deserve, like, a good old glass bottle, smashed up against their fucking head. Just be like, yeah, actually do some fucking work. But my head hurts and I have a concussion. Fuck off. Do your job, bitch. Guess what? Healthcare denied now. I mean, even then, you got enough fuck you money to pay for it anyway, so quit bitching, little pussy. Oh, you'll grow out of it. Oh, yeah. You'll get some, scabs that, scab over the glass and it'll stay in your head. That'll be a nice little reminder. I don't think I could stand any Alabama politician long enough to do anything. Yeah. Though, I felt the same way with some around here, just because it's just like, I can't stand, the likes of, like, Ted Wheeler, for example, the mayor of Portland around over here. And, yeah, I've seen him, in person, and, luckily, at least for me, when I did, he already got fucked up. If anything, everyone was already, giving him the good old spiel of, like, how to feel, bitch. How to feel. So, I mean, if anything, like, it wasn't even, like, it was actually kind of nice. I just showing up, and then I see him, getting escorted out, all tear gassed to shit, fucking, like, coughing, half a lung out. It's like, yeah, take it, bitch. Take it, motherfucker. Suck up those tear gas fumes, bitch. No, at least around here, Ted Wheeler is. There's been articles in the past of him getting very defensive when people approach him and criticize him. Like, he literally pepper sprayed somebody when he confronted him. Like, he waited, like, this one dude who was a local citizen here was waiting outside because he happened to see him in the restaurant. And this is, like, during COVID and shit. Where there's like a lot of peak of the lockdowns, and he yelled at him, confronting him and shit, and he got pepper sprayed in the face. And then, of course, Ted Wheeler ran off into his little private vehicle and got, chauffeured off. Some bougie CEO, because he is a bougie ass like CEO, basically. He's lobbied by like Columbia Sports Co., Nike, and a bunch of other local corporate conglomerates around here. On top of a bunch of other lobbying. So, yeah, he is a bourgeois weasel. Luckily, I don't necessarily have to deal with them. I don't directly live in Portland to deal with their politics. Well, I still do, but not like that. I got a mayor that actually is worth a fuck, that's actually respected and trusted by the fucking town. So, at least not for long. He's gonna eventually, there's gonna be like a special election for mayor here because, he's going to, move up towards, whatchamacallit, towards the 41st, state representative, district. Which is, at least in state representative, but, honestly, all in all, I think there's a high chance he will win. Him versus whatever Republican schmuck that happens to be against him. Yeah. Is he a weasel or wolf in sheep's clothes? A little bit of both. More like a fucking scrawny, like, emaciated Weasley-looking wolf that's in sheep's clothes, desperate to try to fucking take the pickings and bones off of whatever it can find. And there was enough people that had enough bones in their pocket to, take pity on it, I guess. Sukov, what are you doing? Come here, buddy. You want that harness off you, Bo? Come here. Sukov. Hey, bye-bye. Hey, Sukov. Hey, sweet thing. Hey, buddy. Here, let me get this off here. There we go. There you go. Come here, sweet thing. The news here is so dumb, they invited a local business owner, and he had a message for liberals in Alabama. Get out of our great state and go back to call me California. Oh my god, I love how these, you know, so many dumb yokel motherfuckers in the South legit think, like, California is, like, some sort of, like, commie hellhole or whatever the fuck. It's like, frankly, I mean, Washington's probably more likely to be fucking, like, some commie state versus fucking California, and even then, not even remotely fucking close. The only reason why I say that is because at least in Seattle, there is, like, some districts in Seattle that are straight overt leftists. Like, I mean, while in Portland, there isn't as much. So, it's just like, I mean, it's, frankly, if anything, like, Washington would be more like that. And then it'd probably be Oregon, then California. It's like, man, fucking dumbasses. Like what? They probably literally only think that because there's a lot of social progressivism and strict gun laws. I literally guarantee you that is the only fucking reason why they think that. Too much regulation and fucking social progressivism and fucking gun laws are dumb. Boo. It's just like, oh wow. Wow, what a communist state. Capitalism's still stronger than ever in fucking goddamn California. 5th largest economy in the world. You know, if it was its own nation. Like, I mean, it has enough power to literally just, you know, stand on its own weight. Like, I'd like to see these motherfuckers try to, like, you know, have the South run on its own weight. It would collapse in quicker time than the fucking South did in the fucking 1860s, dude. Like, it'd be, like, 3 or 4 years, and then, like, everything would collapse and literally just become a power vacuum, and then a lot of the people and some politicians would be like, oh, can you please let us come back? Annex us, please. Our great state of Alabama. Yeah, I'd like to see Alabama hold its own. I'd like to see it be an independent state and its own nation, and California be its own nation, and just see how long one lasts. I guarantee you California will literally last probably even longer than the United States tenure, you know, as it stands now, versus fucking Alabama, because Alabama would barely last fucking 5 years. If that. That shit would collapse so quick. Like, it's basically literally the blessing of the fact that we're, you know, still have, like, you know, the union of the state and shit, you know, when it comes to the United States, you know, that essentially guarantees the fact that they're able to have, you know, something to stand on in the first place. Like, honestly, even, like, some of the flyover Midwest states and shit, you know, could probably fare on their own, because they have, like, the agriculture industry to rely on. So, it's just like, if anything, you know, they could also survive on their own. But places like Alabama, fucking, like, Mississippi, fucking Arkansas, I mean, like, it's, like, the Carolinas, fucking Florida, Georgia, like, no. No fucking way. Alabama's insisted on USA welfare. Yeah, that's the ground it fucking stands on. It doesn't really have much else that it's standing on. Florida's gonna be underwater by the end of the century anyway. Well, yeah. Most of it anyway. Just that, like, tiny little sliver that's on the very top of Florida that's holding on that weird fucking STD-ridden dick that is America's dick. Like, by the time that, you know, all the STDs literally rot that dick off, like, there'll be, like, that tiny little sliver and nub that used to be what's left. You might get some, like, interesting islands and stuff, you know, out of it. Which, that'd be kind of cool, I guess. Herschel Walker lashes out at Trump. I thought he was endorsed by... Wait, what? They broke his friendship up with him already? The literal Florida Keys, Lamau. I mean, yeah, the Florida Keys would just be expanded. If anything, the Florida Keys might be their own state. They're just like, well, Florida now just became so much of not a thing anymore. We're just going to absorb mainland Florida into the other states and make the Florida Keys its own thing. I mean, honestly, that's probably what would happen. Or to attach it to fucking Puerto Rico and just make Puerto Rico a state or something. I don't fucking know. Like, what are they going to do with it? I mean, frankly, the best thing they can do is abandon it. So, like, move north. Well, I mean, the ones who are at least smart and have at least something that's worth an education. But, you know, outside of that, frankly, I'm not giving a fuck. But, here. Check this out. I want to see about Herschel Walker getting all butthurt.
Never asked me. And I need to tell him that he never asked. You know, I heard it all on television that he's going to ask Herschel. He's saying Herschel to run. President Trump never came out as Herschel. Will you run for that Senate seat? Or Herschel run for this? He never asked. So I'm mad at him because he never asked, but he's taking credit that he asked. Before all this started coming about, my wife and I went with Pastor Tony Evans at Oak Cliff Bible Fellowship, and we went into prayer.
Oh my fucking God. Okay, so before we even get into that bullshit, like, you're mad at him because he's taking the credit of asking you to run, even though he obviously never did. Do you know who the fuck he is? Well, honestly, you're legitimately not exactly smart. Like, honestly. Like, he's a football player, and basically, you know, a lot of his career in that essentially dumbed him down. I don't understand anything Walker says. I think he had too many concussions. It's not that. Like, I can understand what he's saying. It's just very, not like childlike, but just very, like, high school-like. Like someone who's just, like, fainted it in high school. Like, that's just what it feels like to me. Like, you know, so not, like, you know, childlike necessarily, but, yeah, you can, like, I mean, because of his career, I mean, just, like, and honestly, considering how a lot of more physical sports like American football and shit tend to have a higher propensity for, you know, brain damage and long-term brain injuries and shit like that. So it's like, I mean, it's just kind of the fact about it. I mean, at least, like, I don't know anything about what he even advocates for. Like, I legit don't even know. I mean, that's just how vague he is of shit. I remember one time where it was a clip, it's like, hey, what are you going to try to do to pass and, you know, legislation and blah, 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 and, you know, when you're in the Senate. He's like, oh, I'm going to look at some things and stuff. And it's just like, so you literally don't have anything? Like, you, what? It's like, what are you doing, bro?
And to be honest,
I mean, it's just like, honestly, I mean, it kind of goes back to, like, do you really not know who the fuck you're talking to when it came to Trump, bro? When he got his endorsement, of course he's going to take all the credit. I mean, that's what he's about. You know, he's like, you know, another version of Edison in a way, kind of like how Musk is, where they'll just, like, take the credit of, like, the shit they never do. To form and mold as they please. Yeah. Who just happens to be a celebrity. So, you know, it makes it a lot easier to mold him, you know, especially when you have a lot of public interest into, you know, what he may or may not advocate for.
I was praying that God would bring somebody else. I'm like, I'm happy. My life is doing well. I got a company, man. I'm rolling. But I love the Lord Jesus.
Yeah. And because Jesus politely asked him to run, well...
So he's like, I love the Lord Jesus. And because Jesus one day told me that I should run for the Senate, that's right, I did. Because Lord Jesus is the one I love most. Oh my God. So he's just another fucking... I mean, I can see why he won with the GOP, because he's just a fucking another, like, celebrity Christian type, basically. I mean, you know, because a lot of these fucking conservatives all love their football. So, you know, they're going to see this dude and be like, oh, he was the football guy or something. He's one of those black football players. So, like, that's what they're going to think. And they're going to be like, oh, he's a good Christian man. And that's it. That's all they have. That's all they have to have. That's all they need.
Decided to answer the call. Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second. But
God,
for those of you unaware, that is a U.S. Senate candidate who will be facing off against Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock this November. And as you saw, he's very mad that Donald Trump took credit for encouraging him to run. But I've got to say, I don't know what he's talking about, because all of the things that I can find Trump saying, quotes, with regard to Herschel Walker, they don't indicate that he's taking credit for Herschel Walker deciding to run. So before Walker announced his run, this is what Trump said about him. Quote, "He told me he's going to, and I think he will. I had dinner with him a week ago. He's a great guy. He's a patriot, and he's a very loyal person. He's a very strong person. They love him in Georgia, I'll tell you," Trump said. Now, Trump runs his mouth constantly, so it's possible that during some interview, Trump quickly slipped it in and took credit for convincing Herschel Walker to run. But I can't find evidence of this. Perhaps Trump said that Herschel Walker won because of his endorsement, but that's not what Herschel Walker is saying there. Herschel Walker is very clearly saying Trump is taking credit for saying that he got me to run when that's not actually the case.
Typical Trump bullshit nonsense. Yeah. Okay, like, honestly, I feel like I'm losing the plot all of a sudden. So, did Trump not take the credit for it? Like, oh my god. Why are Republicans, okay. Why are they so challenged? Like, severely challenged? Like, oh my god. Like, seriously, like, how, what? Does he think endorsements mean taking credit or something? Is that what he thinks? Is this, okay, so honestly, alright, I feel like I kind of gained the plot again a little bit. I'm thinking, like, because he's such an idiot, oh my god, I'm allergic to stupidity. Oh my god. Because of, like, you know, how much of an idiot he is does he actually think endorsements mean taking credit? And because he was endorsed by Trump, he thinks that means, oh, I took credit for that? I think that's what he thinks. Which is why literally everyone else is seeing this as confusing as shit. Because, like, huh? This became a Jenga tower of confusion very quickly.
Herschel Walker to run? Well, as you saw, he implied that it was Jesus, and I love the way that Ross Story wrote this out. In an interview with Revolt TV host Michael Santiago Render, better known as Killer Mike, Walker revealed that it was God, not Trump, who inspired him to run for the U.S. Senate. Yeah, so that's basically Herschel Walker saying, God convinced me to run, not Donald Trump. So don't take credit for what God did, Donald Trump. Herschel.
Yeah, Trump. Don't take the credit of our Lord and Savior, God. I convince Republicans are children, adult bodies, and Democrats are negligent parents who don't care what happens as long as you leave them alone. Yeah, it's pretty much the summary of it. That's a good way to put it.
With you right now, can you see?
And if you bother them, they will, if anything, not, like, you know, bring awareness, you know, to it or anything like that. They'll just abuse you and be like, fuck off, boo. What are you doing? Bothering me. Meh.
Over there, it's so bizarre to hear adults talk like this, right? Like, I'm envisioning him conjuring up this image of God, and he thinks that we're gonna believe his own delusions. Herschel! Yeah, who's there? This is God, Herschel. On planet Earth, in the United States, in the Milky Way galaxy, just making sure that I have the right person here that I created. I want you to run for the U.S. Senate in Georgia. But God, I don't want to run. This is not what I want to do. I'm a successful football player. This is dumb, God. No, Herschel, you must run because you are a true follower, Herschel. But God, there's already a...
Oh my God, Mike can't keep it in. Like, you can just see when he's doing this bit. He's like, it's like he's
true follower, Herschel.
Dude, oh my God, he's breaking it right there. He's trying so hard not to laugh.
There's already a reverend who's in that particular seat. You want me to unseat the reverend? I mean, how can I be a truer follower than him? Just shut the fuck up, Herschel, and do it.
Just shut the fuck up, Herschel.
I mean, when you say that God convinced you to run, you convinced you to run.
Oh my God. Shut the fuck up, Herschel, and do it on the behalf of me, God.
But you felt like you needed to because you could do better than Raphael Warnock, which you can't. But it's just, this is weird. And it's so bizarre to me that he's genuinely upset that God would try to take credit for something or that Trump would try to take credit for something that God did. Don't ever do that. Okay, Trump, you can criticize everyone, you can attack every single person, you can sexually harass and assault women, multiple women, but don't you dare step on God's toes. Evangelicals in America, genuinely, like, they're so difficult to understand because of how insane most of them are.
I mean, do they actually have any idea what rationale is or logic is? Like, they're basically indoctrinated to not believe in any of that shit, or if anything, literally, like fucking educate it out of them. So, like, the idea of being logical or rational is not something that's in their forte at all. Trick would do anything but one thing that he... but one thing. And that one thing is stepping on the toes of God. Once you step on the toes of God, he's gonna fucking smite you like the goddamn peasant you are, you fucking motherfucker. You agent of Satan, if you step on the toes of God, I swear.
As insane as Herschel Walker is, something tells me that the more he speaks, the less popular he's going to become with the GOP's base, because later on in that same interview, he says something that may be disqualifying among the GOP's base, and it's disqualifying potentially because of how reasonable it is. Yes, you heard me right. Herschel Walker said something.
An armed society is a polite society, which, if anything, is kind of a fascist take if you think about it. Because, like, hey, my society being armed means that anyone who goes against this society, we can literally just shoot and curb stomp, by any means and every means necessary, because, hey, we all have guns. So we can outright, quell anything that goes against our society, type of shit. It's basically like a very hyper-authoritarian mentality of, like, hey, if you, fuck with us, then we have guns.
Raise me. That if something is going wrong, got nothing to do with who I am, what I've done in life, but what I can do to help someone else. Mm-hmm. Right now, there is a problem. There's a problem with the racism. People are calling each other names. Guys, we come so far. Martin Luther King done an incredible job. And right now...
What? It's like, look, we've already come a long way. Martin Luther King already has done a hell of a job. I mean, it's just like, look, the work has already been done. Like, we can't just undo this work. I mean, it's... Like, bruh, dude, Herschel, my guy, dude, why the fuck do you think Martin Luther King was doing what the fuck he was doing? And why do you think the state killed him? Because of him trying to, go against the society and the norms and the racism and the hatred at the time. And guess what? A lot of that's still around, you dumbass. We call it your names. Like, honestly, for you, yeah, it's merited, because you're an idiot. Like, you just are. Like, you're not like Marjorie Taylor. I don't think he's like Marjorie Taylor Greene levels idiot. I think he, is just legit, like, just out of his career and what he, being a football player, he's just, that's, a consequence of what happened. He's not, like, just born that way, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. So, I can at least give him that.
Acting like, guys, we got to come together. And I told President Trump and...
Come together right now over me.
I said, wait a minute. You endorse me and you endorse me, but I do this.
Yeah. I don't know. So you're disavowing Trump publicly, and you're speaking out against Trump, saying I have to do this my way and not Trump's way. I don't know if the base is going to go for that. And the most problematic thing that he said that is going to trigger the chuds is there's a problem with racism. Right now, we're taking things backwards. And he's absolutely correct about that. But the problem is that the GOP thinks that the problem with racism is hurting them. They think that white people are being discriminated against. And that's not hypothetical.
I mean, I suppose, broken clock right twice a day. This is why I think, yeah, like, you're right. He just took too many concussions. Like, because honestly, for him, like, he's definitely somebody that I could tell has, like, a brain in there. It's just, unfortunately been knocked up one too many times. It's been banged up a little bit. So, I mean, all in all, I mean, I can see him, you know, like, actually being on the right side on some issues, I guess. I mean, again, I think he's just been easily molded and manipulated to be, like, this more, you know, this kind of moronic GOP celebrity figurehead type. I mean, I guess for Walker, at least I feel a little bit more empathetic about, but still, what a maroon.
YouGov poll released last week found that 64% of Republicans either strongly or somewhat agree that white people experience hate or discrimination in this country. So the extent to which you're able to discuss racism as a Republican candidate, it goes in so far as you're talking about discrimination against white people. But if you're actually going to have a serious conversation about anti-black racism in this country, then the base is going to shut down because they don't want to hear that. I mean, we just learned that most of them agree with the Great Replacement Theory. So, you know, if Herschel Walker is able to win somehow by not pandering to Republicans, it'll be encouraging to see, but also disappointing because he's very clearly not qualified compared to Raphael Warnock, who is very qualified, who actually cares and wants to do things to help people. But if Herschel Walker is going to try to run to reform the GOP, I mean, I don't think that is possible at all. You got the endorsement of someone who catalyzed a global fascist movement because of how racist he was.
I mean, honestly, like, considering that there are some Republicans even starting to be a little bit more reform-wise on things like gun issues and shit, I mean, I can kind of see it as a possibility, but not like something that would be very, like, significant or very fundamental in the reform of it. It'll just be on, like, very key issues. Like, oh, well, I guess we'll reform on the gun issue a little bit, I guess. After, like, it's, like, at least, like, 2+ decades of just mass shooting after mass shooting. And then fucking, like, you know, then you get, like, you know, some of the other specifics, maybe, like, okay, maybe we won't be as, you know, racist and stuff. Maybe it'll be just, like, kind of the Democratic racists where we pretend that we're not. But, yeah. Is Trump really at the head of a global fashion? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say the head of it, but, you know, he's definitely a major catalyst of a lot of, you know, the global fascistic movements that are, you know, dotted throughout the globe right now, from Brazil to Hungary, Poland, to, you know, the United States and shit. Like, there's a lot of places where, like in the Philippines, there's a lot of places where fascism is legitimately on a very strong rise, and I mean, to an extent, yeah, you know, Trump, especially being in power like he was, helped enable a lot of that. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say he was, you know, or is, you know, by any means, like a outright head of it. But, I mean, because frankly, there isn't really, you know, one true head to it. It's a multi-headed snake. Though they all are also competing each other to be, you know, one head too, but nonetheless, there isn't really, like, one major, like, global head, I guess. I mean, the closest, I guess, would be Trump, but, I mean, not really, but, I mean, not just mainly because he was, you know, the head of the most powerful country in the world right now.
I don't know how you're going to do that, but honestly, if this is your goal, Herschel, more power to you, but I hope that you don't win. Because
hey God, if you are real playing Game of Hearts Survivor 4, can you please stop boasting fascists? So yeah, seriously.
Better senator, objectively speaking, in terms of intelligence and qualifications, than you. But there's another thing that he did that's kind of a non-starter for Republicans, at least seemingly. So he endorsed pseudo-gun reform. Now I call it pseudo-gun reform because it's not actually gun reform, and it's so bad in terms of policy design that I wouldn't even support this, and I support gun reform, pretty vehemently so, but what Herschel Walker is proposing is just absurd, and I think there would be bipartisan distaste for this particular policy. So as Ross Story reports, Herschel Walker calls for creation of federal agency to monitor American social media posts to prevent gun violence.
What? Oh my God, what the fuck? I'd be okay with that if it was like, you know, hey, while you're getting a background check, you know, they'll be like, you know, you know, like a randomization of different posts that will, you know, be selected, you know, for your Twitter or Facebook and shit, you know, and see if there's anything that could potentially be kind of like, you know, red flaggy, you know, or anything like that. Like, honestly, I mean, that would be okay, but not like some Fed agency that is just like, hey, let's just monitor people's social media posts at all times. It's like, no. Like, have, like, randomly selected fucking posts, you know, during a background check, you know, when, you know, for the, you know, for the platforms that you're on. I mean, but beyond that, I mean... And there's the specific specificity of it being a part of the background check. Like, it's not like something that's just constant, like a monitoring thing. It's just like, it's randomly selected. So it's like, even if it's just the one, let's say you have a Twitter and it's literally just one tweet. Well, I mean, no matter what, it's just going to be that one tweet. But if you have like, you know, 100 tweets, then it'll probably be like maybe 10 or 15 of them that'll be randomly selected or something. Or at least, you know, especially ones that have, you know, where there's an algorithm tied to it where it's selected based on what, you know, is being said in the tweet or said in the post or whatever you're saying. Because obviously if you're talking about, oh, this dog looks so adorable, lol, you know, or something like that in a Facebook post or something like that, there's not really much need to, you know, have that be analyzed, you know, for a background check. But, you know, maybe certain things like, you know, that are a little bit more aggressive or hostile or have, you know, a little bit more of a tendency towards violence that isn't, yeah, that's more directly insightful and shit like that. I mean, maybe. It's a possibility.
Be abused at all. I'm sure that the Republicans who you are counting on to vote for you, who already think that social media is discriminating against them, are going to support this. I don't support this. That's too broad. You can create a federal registry for gun owners. I think that would make sense. But just basically surveilling everyone in the country, that doesn't make sense. That's too broad of an approach. That's an abusive approach. You need to narrow the scope because we need to legislate in reality, not based on some random thought that you had at 3 a.m. when you were shitting. I just, look, I don't know what to say about Herschel Walker. He's someone who is one of the least qualified candidates. And really, this is something that's true for all celebrities who run for Congress. Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan. The dumbest celebrities get embraced by Republican voters because even if they pretend to not care about Hollywood and celebrities, the second one of them says that they're conservative, they embrace them because they're thirsty for that culture clout. But, you know, Herschel Walker is not qualified. So, yeah, we'll leave that there. Herschel Walker is mad at Donald Trump for stepping on God's toes and claiming that he convinced Herschel to run when it indeed was the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, man, whatever.
Okay, man, whatever. We should copy Canadian gun laws or banning gun ownership or not banning freezing. And even then, I don't even agree with it. Like, I don't agree with the whole, like, we're just freezing handguns, full stop. Like, and also, how are they gonna fucking collect all the handguns that people already do own? It's just like, I guess it would be easier because it's Canada, but honestly, it's kind of, like, just have a more restricted accessibility to them. But now, it's just like freeze them across the board. I mean, I do think there are certain elements or aspects to where this shit does go too far. Like, just honestly. So, I mean, Herschel Walker's, you know, a great example to it. Because, I mean, like, it doesn't do anyone any natural favors when you're just like, oh, let's do mass surveillance or freeze all handguns and shit like that. It's like, what actual, like, good are you really doing? Because now, essentially, you've just criminalized all of it. So now the people that already, like, so is there, like, some grandfather, you know, clause in there or some shit? Like, I mean, like, there needs to be some strong specificity over this type of shit. And I would hope there to be, like, some multi-100-page type of thing, you know, adding some very strong caveats and shit like this. If it would be the case. But, knowing that it be good, probably not. Because current governments, at least especially when it comes to the U.S., like, and a lot of other places and shit, they don't really exactly, you know, tend to be 100% rational with their decisions. Mostly the United States. Like, and I'm just talking about them mostly. Our country is exactly not the one that makes the most rational decisions. But we're not the only ones. This Marjorie Green shit about the peach tree dish thing is everywhere. I'm like, ay. If she wasn't such a fucking idiot, maybe, I'll make it late for work. I mean, I'm being called in. That's why I'm not, like, exactly worried about it. Like I said, I've been kind of sipping on this. As long as I'm not visibly intoxicated, apparently. I don't get that fucking logic, but that whatever. So, you know what? I think I'll let myself have the pass for that. If anything, I said ish. I didn't say, yeah, right on the dot of 6:30. It's like, yeah, I'll be ish. So within, somewhere around that margin of time frames. And frankly, it's just like, I'm probably just going to be in the bed, keep my Bluetooth speaker on, just like pump some beats and just kind of vibe. Like, I'm just going to be kind of riding it, honestly. So like, look, I'm going to be kind of, just doing shit back here and, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Once I'm done with some shit, it's basically like mopping dishes. I think you'd all be cool if I did. Because frankly, I was trying to get out of doing this. So, I guess, they probably would have like, you could have just said no, but, nah. I'll take some OT. But I'll be back on later tonight, so